guys, welcome back to my channel. So today is going to be a first trimester recap for me. I am within my 8th month of pregnancy and I have had absolutely no energy to get any of these videos out for you guys. But while I have the energy, while I still have the free time, I wanted to get these out for you guys just to share a bit of my experiences. And just for the people who've asked for, I've wanted to share it. Let's go ahead and get into my first trimester recap. And if you are new to my channel, please do not forget to hit the subscribe button so that you can tune in for more. And for all of my babies who have been with me throughout this long journey, thank you so much for tuning back in. All right, let's go ahead and get into it. So my first trimester was, I knew in advance that I was just pregnant. We planned the pregnancy and I was following it on an app. I think I used the Flow app. I think that's what it's called. Yeah, the Flow app. And I had, I knew I was off of birth control. We planned it and I just kind of we planned it during my ovulation time prior and everything. So by the time when I knew I was like 2 days late off of my period, I had just already knew that we were kind of pregnant. And so the first 6 weeks were pretty normal. Breasts will probably be just a little bit tender. Nothing like dramatic, nothing. I just kind of knew. And then after we got our confirmation on June 4th, yes, we got our confirmation on June 4th, 2019. That was around 5 weeks. Right when 6 weeks happened, that's when everything changed. Things just got really, really different. So the morning sickness and nausea was so bad. They say morning sickness is literally just morning sickness, and it's not. It's literally all day sickness. And it's like, I would get more sick. I would be more nauseous in the mornings. Like I would wake up, my body would be just completely weak. I couldn't eat. The smell of anything made me sick to my complete stomach. Like the smell of anything being cooked in the house, like my senses, it would just make me nauseous. Like I would feel like I have to throw up, and then usually towards the afternoon or something, like I would throw up. Like I would just vomit. And I was so sick, and it was just like not fun at all. Like it literally went from 0 to 100. And mind you, it's like summertime, it's hot. And it's just like, it was just like so unpleasant. And I think that what it was, like I would be like crippled to the bed. Like I wouldn't be able to get out of the bed because of how nauseous I was. I would just wake up, my husband would make me tea, and you know, I would try to get that down. If I could eat breakfast, I would try. Like at that time, I think for breakfast, what I was trying to do just to have an appetite, I would eat yogurt, I would get applesauce, I would get, what else would I get? I can't think of any. I forget what else I would have, but mainly I know it was yogurt and applesauce. Just it was something I could kind of force down really fast and drink it down really fast with water, because anything with the smell would just make me just gag, and I had to get some type of calories in, just something into my body. I think that helped big time because I would just get different varieties of yogurt, and it would just be like, this is a meal. It would literally just be like, this is my meal, this is what I can eat. But yeah, like the nausea was the worst feeling. It was like, because it wasn't that I was vomiting all the time. I was vomiting and I was having a lot of morning sickness, but I was, all that time when I wasn't vomiting, I was nauseous. And it would only be like a super small window, like the smallest little window. It was always between like 8:30 and 10 p.m. or in the evening all the way until 10 p.m. that I would get some type of appetite, that I would fit in some food, that I would be able to devour some food. Like, so I would go absolutely crazy. I probably would go get like, oh, hurry up, go get some. I would like get my husband and be like, oh my God, hurry up, go get some Wendy's, go get me, what is that big it was like the biggie bag or whatever. I'm like, give me a biggie bag, give me a little Frosty, give me a little whatever. Like, I would just try to hurry up and check that down while I had the appetite, because then it was like I wouldn't be able to eat after that. And it was hard because we wanted to, you know, we would get groceries, we would try to cook, and my husband would, you know, make himself food. And it was like, it'd be to the point I'd literally have to shut I would have to lock myself in the door in our bedroom, because just the smell of him cooking a hamburger, the smell of him cooking just anything that has like a strong, usually it was meats. Usually, if anything that would really trigger, it would be like just the smell of meats, and I would just be like gagging, like if I smelled it, I definitely couldn't eat it. So like, fast food was like also one of my best friends during my first trimester. Mostly Burger King breakfasts. Mostly Burger King breakfast. Like, I don't know what it was. When I was able to eat breakfast, I was able to eat Burger King's breakfast with orange juice. And even now, orange juice is like super important. Like, I must have orange juice. I've always loved orange juice, but ever since like this pregnancy, I have loved orange juice. But yeah, my sickness was just absolutely horrible. My breasts were extremely tender. I would have a pillow for my head, and then I would have like stacked 2 pillows down by my body, and that would be like for my breasts, because they were so tender and just like, and they just felt so delicate. And usually I sleep on my stomach, and I couldn't, and just so I just needed kind of cushion around them. Like, I don't have big breasts at all, but I mean, throughout this pregnancy, God has been good, y'all. I'm telling you, I've gotten some chi-chis out of this thing so far. Hopefully they don't go away. The morning sickness, I would remember one time I was brushing my teeth, and I would be going to just literally brush my teeth, going to gargle, whatever, and the moment I would get done, I would just vomit everything. I would just vomit, just because the thought of not gagging, or the thought of trying not to make myself gag while brushing my teeth, made me vomit even more. And it was like, I must have to say, my husband has been the biggest MVP throughout this entire process, because like every step of the way, he has just been a team player, a good sport, just at helping me. Like, anytime I have vomited, majority of the times he's always been home. And if he was, what would happen, like, I would just go rush to the toilet, I would have to go vomit, and he would go get like a cold towel, and then he would place it around my neck. And like, because when you're vomiting, like your body gets like these heat sweats, you're just like, it's the absolute worst. Like you just feel like you're dying, really. And it's something about that cold wet towel on the back of your neck. Like, everything is soothed, everything goes away, and like, he would just be right on time with it, and I would just feel so much better. Like, I just love him. My husband has been literally just like the absolute biggest trooper, all the way even up to this moment. Like, he, by helping me put my socks and shoes and stuff on, like, he is just the #1 MVP, like, I must say. It wasn't until about 10 weeks I would be able to not be so triggered by smells. I wouldn't be as nauseous. I would be able to function a little bit more. Like, I had a little bit more energy, because I was just so low energy. Like, I was glued to the bed. Like, I was so sick. Like, I was glued to the bed, couldn't get out the bed, couldn't do anything. Like, it just felt like my body was just couldn't do it. I had no energy. It was just bad. So it wasn't until about 10 weeks that I actually was just able to start picking it up. And it was kind of cool, because we were already going back to Ohio to see our family, which was, we wanted to tell them anyway. You know, we were going to my cousin's wedding, and we were going to be around pretty much all of my family, and then we were also going to have this huge barbecue. And so we were just like, you know what, I think we're far enough along. I think like I'm comfortable enough with telling people, because unfortunately we suffered a miscarriage prior to this pregnancy. It, you know, like it was really hard. I think I'm gonna make a separate video with that, because that is definitely something I want to talk about, that I would love to open up with and just speak on. But we did suffer from a miscarriage prior, and so we really wanted to wait a little bit of a while just to kind of talk and just to kind of let anyone know, like, because no one really knew that I was pregnant. It was just me and my husband, and we were just like, and I think I told my sister because she's a nurse, and so if I had any issues, like, I would just kind of call her, like, for any kind of, you know, whatever. But it wasn't until I was about 12 weeks when I told the family. I think, well, no, I don't think it was 10 weeks. It was in between that 10-11 week time. That's exactly what it was. It was like 10 weeks some days going into 11 weeks. It was something like that. And that's when we were able to just, I wasn't vomiting. I was able to tell my family around that time. But all the way up until 14 weeks, which is about your end of your first trimester, there was small times in between. I think it was maybe about, like, I wasn't vomiting anymore between that 12 week, but I think it was like once a week. It wasn't like an everyday thing anymore. I had vomited like maybe 2 to 3 times, and then after that, once second trimester hit, voila, I just had all the energy. Morning sickness and nausea were probably my number 2 things that were the biggest factors in my first trimester that just made it a little bit hard. And you know, you just think like, oh my god, I have my little baby, and you're just trying to feed it, and you're just trying to get as much calories and nutrients, because that was the biggest thing my OBGYN said at the time when I had her. She said, you know, the biggest thing is you want to make sure you get your calories. And I'm like, but how? I can't eat anything. Like, I can't. So that's when I was like, I'm getting the applesauce. That's when I was getting the yogurt. I tried to do smoothies. It's just like thought of fruit chunks or something. I don't know. I would have to tolerate it here and there. But for breakfast, for some reason, I could eat that Burger King. I could totally eat the Burger King breakfast. Like, that always got devoured. I may not have been able to finish it all the time. I would still eat some of it, maybe not eat all of it, but I was able to eat it. And so the biggest thing is just like, you know, you want to get your calories in. You want to make sure that you're getting your prenatals and your vitamins. You want to make sure that your body is getting all of the nutrients that the baby needs and that your body needs to keep producing a happy and healthy baby. You know, so that they can go through their right developmental processes and all of that kind of stuff. You know, like, it's kind of cool. You know, you just kind of think like, you know, this is not for me. Like, I have to figure out a way to get food down my throat for this child. And it's hard. It's like the hardest thing ever, but I was able to get through it. You know, it's like your initiation of motherhood or something. Like you have to go, either some women, you know, go through it, or every woman goes through it in a different way. But, you know, for some women who are pregnant and get morning sickness and nauseous, like, that is like a hazing period to become a mother. It's like crazy. Oh my gosh. In the end, it's like so worth it, because it's like, I just can't wait to meet my little human, and I just can't wait to, you know, touch her face. I don't know if I've said it, but it's a girl, and I just can't wait. Like, I can't wait to meet her. So everything I just made sure I did, because I wanted to get all of my calories and all of my nutrients and everything that my body needed for her. So I tried to definitely make a way. It may have been a lot of fast food, but there's nutrients in the food, fast food. Lettuce, tomatoes. Come on. So what if you get a slushie to drink with it? I mean, hey, I drink my water too. Just I wanted a slushie with it at the moment. First trimester was a very trying experience. It was very rough and it was very hard, but I think the biggest factor was that I had my husband, and I had his support. I had his good energy. I had, you know, just his teamwork and his team effort with, you know, helping me and me feeling great, and just any way that he could help, like, he would. And, you know, he said that his biggest thing is he doesn't want to say no to me. mostly in this pregnancy, like, you know, just to keep a happy, calm mom. It just honestly has been the best part, and it's been like, it's made it so much more easier, you know, with that help. So that's definitely how I was able to get through my first trimester. I'm gonna try to film a second trimester update, just so I can kind of let you guys update with that. But thank you for tuning in for this video. I just wanted to share some of my experiences with you guys and just what it was like for me, what happened, and I just want to thank you guys for tuning in, and stay tuned for the second trimester recap. And do not forget, please subscribe if you have not already. Tune in and hit the little bell just so that you get the notifications. I know YouTube is a little weird now. Sometimes they have algorithms and you don't see people's posts, but just make sure you hit the little bell to get the notification, and do not forget to subscribe.